You're listening to Poor Decisions, Life, Love, Business, Wine, with Aaron and David, partners in strategy and sarcasm. Let's begin. Welcome to Poor Decisions. I'm Aaron.
And I'm David.
And today is the 6th of April. We missed last week because David was once again in Georgia.
Yeah, I was in Georgia with my dad.
And my dog has congestive heart failure, and she's coughing a lot underneath my feet. So I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like she's hacking up a bone, but she has congestive heart failure. She's like 14. It's actually my dog that went to my mom, and then my mom went to assisted living. So now I have the dog back. We have the dog back. So
we have the dog back.
Yeah. David loves dogs. Anyways.
I don't mind dogs.
All right. Well, today we are going to drink a bottle of wine that I went down to the Richie's East. Yeah, I went down there today because I was too tired to go and get a very expensive wine. But this is my favorite bottle when I go to Richie's. And it is Kenwood Pinot Noir, a 2022 California wine. And it's a good one because it's made from the Kenwood family that made the stereos. Did you know that?
Well, I was going to say something about they used to make really good stereos for my cars back in the day.
So they make good wine too. Good car stereos and good wine. So
yeah, I had a few Kenwood stereos.
I can imagine.
It was back in the day when you could take out your factory radio and put in a new stereo by yourself without having to go to a shop and have all the computer and all that mumbo jumbo. You could just park it in your yard. And
remember when you took the faceplates off, like when you would park it and you didn't want anybody stealing your stereo and you pushed it and the plate would come off?
Yeah, the whole faceplate would come off.
Those were the days when you could put your big boom box, speakers in the back. I bet you had that.
I made my own box, but yeah.
You did? What car did you have?
Yeah, I had a GMC Sprint, which is very much like basically it's an El Camino body, but it's a GMC Sprint. And I had Kenwood stereo in it. I had Jensen speakers, but they were good back in the day.
You were cool, right?
I was pretty cool.
I can tell.
One of these long time ago, I was very cool.
You're still cool now. Mr. 5,800 followers on Facebook.
Look at that.
Don't. I mean, I'm a little jealous, I have to say.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get all my followers, and you post a few videos, and boom, you're well off on your way. You need to get more content out there.
I know.
Because everybody thinks you're so sexy.
Well, I've been
sexy David content.
I've been at my dad's for the last week, and it's been very depressing. But so I haven't had a chance to put out any content really. Just trying to take care of my dad, make sure he's comfortable.
Yeah.
So
here's to making your dad comfortable.
Yeah.
Ooh,
cheers.
Ooh, look at that. I didn't wash that glass very good. It's got some spots on it. Uh-oh, Cascade, you're letting me down.
No, she's trying to poison me again.
That's true. Yeah. Some guys just can't take their arsenic. That's part of, I'm going to be dancing in July. Sasha Farber's coming into town, and I'm part of the first ballroom studio, and we dance with Sasha. It's at the Singer Theater. And I'm doing the cell block tango, and I get to play lip shits, and I get to mouth the words about, some guys can't take their arsenic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lip shits.
Yeah. So that's going to be a good time. I don't know what date in July, but it's in July. You're going to be out of town. It's Saturday for the Shingle Roof.
Yeah.
And I'm dancing with my daughter Taylor, and it's going to be a good time. We're doing Umbrella, Ella. Yeah, we're doing Singing in the Rain with a purple umbrella.
And I don't get to dance this time.
Yeah.
Shucks.
I wanted him to, but I think he's using this as an excuse so he doesn't have to dance with me.
Well, we have a family reunion we do every year. We've been doing it since I was born. And it's at a place called Shingle Roof Campground in McDonough, Georgia. And we go there for a week every year. And that's where I get to see most of my kids and grandkids. They all come up there and make it a point. And it's our big family reunion we do every year. So I can't miss that.
He's been going since he was born, and they've been going since they were born, and your dad was going since he was born. It's been there for well over 200 years, and it stays in time. this little area is preserved, and all these cabins are like back in. I mean, your cabin's like 1903, I think.
Yeah.
These cabins.
1908, I believe it was.
Yeah, it's
but yeah.
crazy. It's like every time you go back there in July, it's like nothing's changed. It stayed in time. So
yeah,
used to be a Confederate fort too.
Yeah. It was a training ground for Confederate troops at one point.
But they were all tenting there, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, you can't tent here because we're taking it over for training.
No, they gave it up during those years so that the troops could use them. But yeah, it was it's an old timey camp meeting where you go and listen to preachers preach at you twice a day, and in a big tabernacle in the middle of the field, and then all these cabins that are built all the way around the tabernacle. And it's very cool. And different families own the different cabins. My dad's family probably has about 4 cabins out there, 4 or 5, and so we get to see those folks when we go up there. And just it's a cool place to go, and it really has. It just stands still in time. It hasn't changed hardly at all since I was a kid, and that's why I tell my kids and my family and everything. It's really the only constant I've ever had in my life. Everything changes. When I was a kid, we moved. I moved out. My parents moved, and everything changes. Your city that you grew up in completely changed. McDonough completely changed. Atlanta completely changed. But the Shingle Roof Campground is always the same. Has a little spring that comes out of the corner of the ground down there, and there's
fresh water,
and we drink that. My dad has been drinking that water for years, and matter of fact, while I was up there, I ran down and got I don't know about 10 gallons of water
Maybe
for him.
It's a fountain of youth. That's why he's 98.
Maybe he's 98 years old.
I
drink as much of that.
Well, maybe we should bring some of that water back.
I was going to actually, and then we ended up using it, me and Jenny. But I had a big gallon thing of water I was going to bring back, but I drank it while I was there. So
yeah, well, I'm glad you're hydrating.
Yeah.
Speaking of growth, I told everybody that I wasn't going to talk about politics.
Yep.
But I'm like fired up today. I put it out there on Facebook. I'm fired up today about a few things that are going on in the state and in our county. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to break the rule and talk about politics.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, exactly. It might be a poor decision, but I'm going to talk about it, and, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So, yeah.
I was going to say something.
Yeah, I was reading about DeSantis signing into law on Friday, which I just read today, which is Monday. Yeah, that he's going to have the state be able to make some decisions without the county approving it.
Well, these developers basically own our state, and when they get upset, you have to pass a law in their favor, or else they won't donate to your campaign anymore. And DeSantis, obviously he can't run for governor again.
I'm sure he's going to go for president.
But yeah, it's funny because there's so many people that love DeSantis. Oh, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, But I want y'all to remember when the COVID happened, he did shut down our state. So don't think he's all that. I admire him for what he did do when he realized that the vaccines weren't going to work, and he opened the state back up, and we're very grateful that he did. But the fact that he took our rights away as American citizens to start with was not very cool. But so the developers are sick and tired of going in front of these local county commissioners and having to beg for this and that. And so DeSantis said, "Well, screw that. We'll just do a go around, so you don't have to do this anymore, and the state will just be involved in all these decisions from now on." So
and that's
ridiculous. How about that for taking away your rights?
I know.
As locals, and Tallahassee just completely took away our right to decide what, when, and where we want development in our county.
And that's the thing, everybody's like, oh, especially when you're a county commissioner and you have a real estate license, which a lot of them do, which a lot of people here in Florida do.
A lot of people in Florida
I mean, if you don't have a real estate license, it's weird. But, I like to sell houses. Obviously, I've sold like one new house in the 9 years that I've been doing real estate. I focus mostly on reselling homes that are, been lived in. But the thing is that you sell somebody a house now, like especially a new neighborhood or a house in general, and you don't know what's going to be built in the next 5 years. I mean, the state can now say, I'm going to put a big ass development right next to you, and there's nothing you can do.
Yep.
They're taking away the zoning and all the decision making in the zoning board and in the commissioning board, and I think it's ridiculous. So, I mean, it just makes me mad because I can't tell my buyer that when they buy this home, the woods in the back will never be touched unless it's in conservation. And now they have to worry about these big developers coming in like D.R. Horton and everybody else just mowing down the trees and stacking the 4 houses an acre, and damned if you like it, you're going to get it anyway. So it just makes me angry. And I mean, I'm not a big commissioner fan right now anyways, because I feel like a lot of them are rubber stamping these developments to go on.
Yep.
Some of the commissioners say, well, we need affordable housing. Well, what's really affordable housing, first of all, in this area? And second of all, well, we got to move down here to Paradise. So why can't we allow other people to move to Paradise?
Yeah, one of our commissioners doesn't feel like the people that live in a community should be in charge of how the community gets developed. He thinks everybody should have access to that community, whether they can afford it or not. It just makes absolutely no sense. We're supposed to be stewards of this area. And how can we be stewards if we just open the floodgates and let the developers do whatever they want? I mean, I'm not anti-development. I'm not anti-developer. There are some developers in this area that have really good ethics and make very good decisions, regarding the way they build and the way they design their subdivisions. But then there's a lot of them that aren't, and that could care less because they don't live here. They just have a piece of land here they want to develop. They're going to develop it and then get the hell out.
True.
And those are the ones we got to watch out for. But
what can
the local community should have a say in it.
My question to you is, how do we stop that? I mean, I was on the zoning board for 3 years, and there was a lot of times I said no on the zoning board, and then it would go in front of the county commissioners, whether it was appealed or whatever. It just the county commissioners would overturn it, and it was so frustrating. And the last year of being on that zoning board, I was already done. Like, I checked out, honestly, because anytime I said something, it seemed like it got overturned. And it was like, why am I wasting my time? Yeah. I'm volunteering sometimes until 1 a.m.
Yeah,
I drive up there, listen to these people. I vote to protect their lands. And then the commissioners turn around and slap us in the face. A few zoning board members have left because of it, because they don't listen to the people that they put in place on the zoning board. And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So how do you stop it?
Well, I don't know. I guess it all comes down to money. It's like everything else. If these developers didn't have the kind of money and could filter, campaign contributions through multiple LLCs, multiple corporations, and they would funnel all this money to these. You would hope that it's not the money. You would hope it's not corruption of the soul when a commissioner agrees to do something for a developer. I would just hope that it's not because they're crooked.
Do you think they take backdoor money? I mean, I can't say it personally here, but I know a lot of politicians take backdoor money. Scratch my back, I'll scratch your.
On a federal level, I would say I wouldn't trust hardly any of them. There's probably 3 or 4 in the federal level that I would say that I would trust. And that's it out of 200 and something, 300 members of Congress and 100 senators. There's probably less than 5 that I would point to and say, I trust that person. I trust that person. In our county commissioners, it's hard to say because I don't think they're getting bribes or kickbacks, or I don't think they're taking money, just blatantly like that. But there's got to be an angle. There's got to be somewhere they're benefiting from making these decisions. And whether it's campaign contributions, whether it's, maybe a good deal on a house down the road. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. I would hate to think it would come to that. You'd hate to think that the people that you voted in, that you trusted when you voted them in, all of a sudden became corrupt.
And that's the thing that a lot of people think, well, you're a realtor and you're on the county commission. You're a county commissioner with a real estate license. You're getting some kind of sweet deal somehow because you can use your license and sell houses or get maybe a tip of some houses going to be developed or what have you. I don't know. I mean, at one point I was going to run for county commissioner this last election. Yeah, against Colton Wright. And
we went up there to file the paperwork and everything, and come to find out that she changed her party affiliation about 10 days too late. And
I was independent,
didn't qualify for this past.
And it was really disheartening because I had a lot of people when I stepped off the zoning board ask me to run.
Yeah.
And they were behind me. They said, we need a woman up there. And they were, I mean, at first it was a joke, honestly. There was a local reporter that was asking around if I was going to run for county commissioner, and it got into my ear, and I was like, that's funny, because I'm not very serious. I mean, I can be serious, but I'm mostly a jokester. And I was like, me as county commissioner? Come on now. I don't feel like I'm that big of a dog. And then as I thought about it and people started reaching out to me after I stepped off the zoning board, I was like, well, why not? I mean, I have good intention. I would actually put my real estate license on hold if I were to run for county commissioner, which I'm not. But if I were, I would have put my license on hold to show that I don't want to make, they make $92,000, $93,000 a year as a county commissioner. To show that I don't need to, be doing real estate on the side. I mean, it is practically a part-time job, I heard, being a commissioner.
It should be a full-time job, you'd think, with all the decisions they have to make on a monthly basis.
Well, it's funny because when election times, you don't know what's going on they get elected, and then the first couple of years you don't hear boo from them, and then as soon as they start to run for re-election, they start going to all these town meetings and show up all the chamber events.
Hey, look what I did! Look what I did! Look what I did!
And half of them didn't support what they were running on to begin with. They run on these slogans, and then come 4 years later, they didn't do jack shit for what they said they were going to run on. And that's just really disappointing.
It is, and honestly, in my opinion, the only way that you can change this is for the good people to start running for office. The people with integrity, the people that can't be bought, the people that their conscience means more to them. Having a clean conscience means more to them than any amount of money. That's the only thing that's going to change it, is getting the people in there that have integrity, that really want to do the right thing and want to help the citizens of the county, and will sacrifice. It's a huge sacrifice. I can imagine the kind of mud that gets slung at these people on a daily basis. I mean, it's
damned
brutal.
If you do and damned if you don't. You can't ever make everybody happy.
You can't make everybody happy, and some people are just what do they call them, keyboard warriors, or where they'll say stuff on Facebook or Instagram or X. They'll say stuff that they would never say to you in person.
Right.
And that's where I get caught sometimes when I'm upset and I'm responding to something. I always think, well, would I say this to this person's face? And if the answer is probably not, then I don't post it. I can make an argument and tell you that you're wrong without telling you you're a dumbass and that I hope you eat shit and die. You can, if that's all you got, then you don't even have an argument. You might as well just keep your mouth shut. If you're just going to lash out at these people for their decisions, that's fine. You lash out, but have a solution. When you do that, don't just lash out to be ugly or to be mean. So anyway,
what do you think about those people? I mean, because I see both sides of the argument too, because the county commissioners, you get 4 minutes. Well, you did on the zoning board. The public could come up and talk, and then we get 4 minutes. Each person would get 4 minutes to speak. And then I think at the county commissioner meetings, you only get 3 minutes to speak. I haven't been to a county commissioner meeting in a long time. And there's a lot of people that come up and they speak, and they're there at every meeting, which is honorable. I mean, if you really want to know what's going on with the county, you should be at those meetings. and not pick and choose the meetings you want to be at. And you see that they talk to the commissioners like they're
It's
dumb as
very
hell.
disrespectful.
And then the county
to me.
commissioners also shut them down, and they're kind of disrespectful. It's like a disrespectful thing going on between these people that are the people do pay their salaries. I get it. Like, we pay the salaries of the commissioners, so we should be able to get up and talk and say whatever is on our mind. And then you got these commissioners that are kind of degrading, like they just talk down to these people, and it's almost like I rule and I get to make these decisions, and you shut up, and and they get frustrated. I mean, how do you think you correct something like that?
Get the right people. I mean, you can't fix that. If people are going to let the power go to their heads and think they're above everybody else just because of the position they're in, and you just vote them out. That's the only way you can fix that.
Yeah, well, I remember.
But then you hope the next person you vote in doesn't go through the same thing. You vote them in because of all the great stuff they're talking about and all the great stuff they want to do for the county, and then they get in there and the power goes to their head, and next thing you know, they're a completely different person, and they're siding with the developers at every turn. And that's we've talked about it many times.
Well, I mean, you did a great job on. I'm just bringing this up because you were seeing corruption on so many levels with the water board, with the Holly Navarre water system, before you decided to run for the board, and you saw a lot of things that were going down that you weren't agreeing to. And you said, you know what I'm going to do? I want to go in and I want to be on that board. I want to see what's happening. I want to, to see what's behind the scenes. You ran, you won. You were on the board for 3 years. You were the president or chairman of the board for 2 of those 3 years. And you got to see what was going on behind the scenes. And after 3 years, you stepped off because you said it's, up and up. Yeah. But you also, had that board running. I mean, nobody was arguing. I mean, people would come up to talk to you, and
we had some meetings where we didn't have any people from the water company, any members of the water company even show up for the meeting because everything was going pretty smooth.
I mean, nobody was arguing. Like, the board was copacetic. They're all like high-fiving each other. I mean, there was zero resentment and hostility going on.
Yeah.
And even in the beginning, when they all got up, and the people that were naysayers, pretty soon realized that you knew what you were doing, and what you said, what you meant was what you said, and then you stepped off. In 3 years, you said, I'm only doing this for 3 years, and boom, it's back to like business as usual. Everybody's arguing again.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to stay out of it now, but yeah, it's just amazing to me that we don't have more people with integrity that care to run.
Well, what do you think it's because they're worried about anything in their closet that might come out, because the local newspapers love to dig up dirt, especially if they want to sway the voters to their thinking, which is kind of crazy. You're, as a journalist, you're supposed to be unbiased. You're supposed to give candidate A and candidate B at the same time. I mean, I went to journalism school. I got a degree in journalism, and you're supposed to give candidate A and B and C the same amount of time in advertising. Yeah. And it's become, in this area, they tend to write pieces that make you want to either go for candidate A or B, and they'll do hit pieces on the other candidate just to sway the readers on the internet or in the paper to their way, who they want to win, which is like, why even? I mean, that just seems, what's in it for you to write about that?
So
except advertising.
Journalists are human, and humans have a tendency to want other people to agree with them. So if I'm writing a story as a human and I don't like this candidate for some reason or another, I might word my story in such a way that it kind of brings that to light, as opposed to, being objective. And it's always going to be that way. That's why you need to have multiple sources of news, and you kind of have to, you really need to go through it over and over, because some of this stuff is just so fake and so BS. But it's always going to be like that. The news is always going to be like that. You can't, even AI. AI is you try to get your news from an AI source. Well, it's biased as well, because the person that designed that AI is biased. So all the news that you get, you'll never get news that is just information that you need to, process. It'll always be leaning to the left or leaning to the right. I mean, some of them are very obvious, and for the mainstream media has lost all credibility. I don't know anybody except from my dad, who's 98, that gets his news source from from a television station. They just don't do it anymore. It's not a thing. They've already proven to be so unreliable and so biased and so one-sided, and everybody sees through it now. And I know CBS just put out a statement that their news is going to be they're going to reevaluate the way they do their news, and it's going to be more objective and less, that's BS. It's all BS. It's always going to be warped, and it's all you boil it down to, it's all about the money, right? It's all about the money. Why do you think all these TV stations were pushing the COVID vaccine so hard? Because Pfizer spends $30 billion a year on advertising. You don't think that pays some of these people's salaries? It's like, oh well, if we lost Pfizer, I might not have a job, so I think we're going to push whatever Pfizer tells us to push, and Johnson & Johnson and all these people, and they just hook, line, and sinker. They bought what the government was selling them, and then they gave all that false information out to people, and now you got people that are dead because of it, that are severely injured because of it, because of that information. But they don't care. It's all about the money. It boils down to it. Same with politics. These politicians, especially in an election year, how much money these TV stations and radio stations make from political ads.
Mm-hmm.
So you better believe they want as much money in that system as possible. That's why you'll never see Citizens United overturned unless it comes from the grassroots of us.
Let me turn off my phone.
The citizens. But politicians would never vote that down because they love that money. They love the money flowing. And the more money that flows, the more money they can skim off the top. And we're seeing that all over the country with Minnesota, California. And you think it's just happening in Minnesota and California? You're wrong. It's happening in every single state. The government, our government, has not put in place enough security measures to make sure this money doesn't go to the bad people. And it's just flowing. $30 trillion, $36 trillion in debt. I guarantee you that entire $36 trillion was stolen. It's in somebody's pocket, whether it's over in Afghanistan or Iran or Iraq or in Washington, D.C., or, that money was flowing. And there was so many people that got a hold of some of that money that had no right to, no reason to, except for the fact that it was free and it's there. And the more money that flows, the more money you can steal. And that's exactly what's happening in this United States of America. That's why I have no trust whatsoever in our federal government. In our state government, I'm starting to lose faith. I thought I had some faith in our state government at least, but yeah, that's starting to fade fast too. And I'm just going to imagine what the next governor of this state's going to do. We were safe with DeSantis for a while. At least he was a safe candidate. He wasn't going to do anything crazy. And then he signed this into law, so maybe he's got some development coming up in the future.
Maybe. You got a booger on your finger or something?
No, it was something on my hand. It's a piece of skin. I just got off my hand.
Well, then how do you
kiss it for me?
No, I'm sorry. How do you get honest people into office then? And what constitutes an honest person with integrity? I mean,
well, you won't know until after the fact.
That's
true. The problem.
That's true.
Somebody can tell you all day long they're honest.
You can have Honest Abe.
Yeah, you can have 100 people come up behind you. Oh, this guy's honest. This guy's honest. As soon as he gets into power, people change. I've seen it happen. It's amazing that people just throw away all their convictions and would sacrifice a dirty conscience for money. See, in my opinion, and I'll say this real quick, but in my opinion, the Bible says, love others as you love yourself. Right? You cannot, every person was born with a conscience. And I would throw a little caveat to say some people, serial killers, those kind of people, maybe they weren't born with a conscience, but most human beings were born with a conscience. Whether it gets seared or whatever they used to call it in church, you sear your conscience or whatever. But in order to truly love somebody else, in order to truly love yourself, you have to have a clear conscience. Because if your conscience is constantly telling you you're wrong, you're wrong here, you're wrong here, this is not right, I'm not comfortable, you're not doing what's right, then how can you have peace of mind, enough peace of mind to love yourself? Because if your conscience is not clear, you can't love yourself because you know there's something wrong. If you can't love yourself, the Bible says you can't love other people.
Right.
Right? So a clear conscience is paramount to everything else, you know. And Jesus himself said, there's faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. But you can't have any of those things without a clear conscience. And so these people that are willing to trade their clear conscience for money, to me, they don't understand the value of a clear conscience. They must not, because they're trading their conscience. They're doing something they know is wrong, in order to make money.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't understand. That makes no sense to me. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand money is
greed.
very powerful.
Greed. It's the 7 deadly sins. You got greed in there. It's a thing,
Yeah, it's a thing.
Can't get enough.
Yeah, so me and you should run for county commissioner.
Well, that's where I'm going with this a little bit.
Yeah.
I've had people approach me, ask me to run as a woman. We have a one woman right now in District 2, Renee John Meyer.
I'm just now finding this out.
Shh, I'm telling all the secrets. Renee John Meyer, I'm very happy to see that she put her hat in the ring for that position, and because we do need more female voices, I believe, in our area. And I've had a lot of people come to me, David, which we've talked about this, because you were on the water board and you did such an amazing job as the acting chairman for 2 years, and that people want you to run for county commissioner. And you and I have talked about it, would it be something you would ever consider? And, I know we've talked about it, because sometimes I say, David, you should run for county commissioner. You're honest, you have integrity, you're smart. You can do some you can do really good things. You can do really good things in this area. I know we love this area. We love Santa Rosa County, and you could really do some good things. But then I also say, well, you're 62, and we're getting to the point now where we can, after DJ gets out of high school, we can go on and travel and go see the grandkids and see the kids. And do you really want that headache? Because, time is so precious and you only have so much time. And, that's a 4-year commitment. 8 years if you want to get retirement. But I'm just saying that it's a long commitment. So it's something to think about too. But I go back and forth, because I'm like, you would be really good at it. People like you. Obviously, you got 5,800 followers on your video.
She's not going to let that go.
I'm not going to let that go. But and I think you would do really well. And then the other side of me is kind of a selfish person, because I was like, well, in a year after DJ graduates, we can sell the house, pick up and go wherever, Costa Rica, or wherever we can get a small house here in Florida near the kids and grandkids, and a small house in Costa Rica or wherever, and go back and forth and be free. And it comes down to, I guess, legacy and what's most important. So is it, where do you stand on that? Putting you on the spot here.
No, well, Bart, when we had Bart on the show, and I asked him, should I run for office? And he had told me 100 times when he came to the wine bar, when we had the wine bar, and we would sit and talk. And after he got off work, he would come in and we'd have a drink and talk. And he told me 1,000,000 times, don't do it. Don't do it. You should never run. It's not worth it. Don't do it. And then we were sitting here talking, and I asked him, should I run for, and I was kind of kidding. And he flat out said, yeah, you should. And I thought that was strange. I thought it was, I wasn't expecting that answer.
And he was dead serious.
But, yeah,
and I've never seen Bart say dead serious things. Like he's usually like, when I told him I was going to run, he's like, "Are you shitting me? You?" And I was like, "I know, right? You're the one that put it in my head, dude."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we're in District 5. Unfortunately, the way the census comes down, I mean, we live in Navarre. We live in Santa Rosa County, and we should be representing Navarre. But unfortunately, the way the census came out, it comes all the way down Edgewood, right between Gulf Breeze and Navarre, and comes down, and we are south of 98, and then that stretch for District 5, all the way to where?
All the way to the town.
Yeah.
Where that sign says "Welcome to Navarre" right there in front of the wine bar. That's where it stops.
And we are in District 5, which doesn't make any sense to me, but I don't make the rules, and
It doesn't make any sense either that every district gets to vote on the other district's commissioner. That is wrong. Like, how would that happen in like a congressional district? You get to vote on your congressman. You don't get to vote on every congressman in the state. You get to vote on your congressman for your district. And in Santa Rosa County, this is how corrupt it is here. In Santa Rosa County, everybody in the county votes for every commissioner. So if there's a commissioner that somebody up in Milton likes, and you get a whole bunch of people in Milton that likes the commissioner, one person that's running here in Navarre, they can vote him in or her in. And the people in Navarre could all vote against it, all of them, and they could still get in. And to me, that's not right. I think each district should vote on their own commissioner, and that should be it.
And you also agree on term limits too.
Oh, absolutely, term limits, absolutely.
Because career politicians.
Yeah, you don't want that. Well, we haven't seen that in our commission, in our county commissioner situation yet, but
no,
but there has been people that have been there for years.
What was that? What was that one? That one bill, and that it was like a while ago, and that old person came down. It was like 90 some odd, and the walker to go sign or something to make a vote for something that was going on in Congress or something. Who was that person? You're like, my God, that person's been in Congress or the Senate for how many years? And they're like on their deathbed coming in to do a vote.
Yeah. John McCain had brain cancer, and he went because he couldn't even speak. He just thumbs down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Senator Byrd, who was a racist Ku Klux Klan member, who was a big, the Democrats loved him. And he was in Congress. He couldn't even speak. He was in a wheelchair, like, oh. And they were rolling him. And then somebody pick up his hand and push a button or whatever. And he's like, oh. Like Weekend at Bernie's. Like Nancy Pelosi. God, her face is like so old. Like it might be petrified by now. Like stuck in that.
Oh, okay now.
Now I'm getting ugly.
Now you can get all the Democrats that watch our show.
Yeah,
like,
sorry. No, there's the Republicans like Mitch McConnell. Turtle-faced Mitch McConnell. He's like as old as snot. He's older than the dirt this house was built on. And he's still there. Barely. I don't know how. It's got to be the easiest job on the planet, being a senator or congressman, because you just have other people do your job, and you just go to parties and drink all the time.
Why don't you run for senator? Congress. I guess you got to start baby steps first.
I guess I got the
commissioner and the state representative, or you could just go right to state representative.
Yeah.
Go against Andrade.
I wanted to get Petronas out. I can guarantee you, I want Petronas out. He's our congressman right now. He took over Matt Gaetz' place.
Yeah. What do you think? Why?
Well, because he voted to hide all the sexual predators in Congress. He voted to hide all their names. It was an easy bill. Just vote no, and all the names of all the Congress people that have used taxpayer money to pay off their sexual victims would have come out along with the amount of money that they've spent. But instead, he voted to send it to a committee where it's going to die, and he knows it's going to die there. So I don't know why he did it. He still won't answer my emails. Petronas, if you're listening, you can answer my email. I've emailed you like a dozen times now asking you to answer my damn question. So at least answer my question if you're going to be a jerk about it. So rile him up, Petronas.
Yeah,
there you go, Petronas.
Yeah.
Why'd you vote to hide all the sexual predators in Congress? Why'd you vote to hide their names? That's my question. It's a very simple question.
And he doesn't
All
want
you
to
gotta do
answer
is
it.
answer me.
He doesn't want to answer
I know
because
he
he
doesn't want to
probably
answer.
his name's probably on there. Who knows?
I don't think his
it's like-
name's on there. He hasn't been there long enough.
It's like Recall Florida. I'm friend. We're just speaking of Renee John Meyer. Her Chance is her husband, and he has Recall Florida. And he had one of the first things that Dr. Joel Rudman did when he became our rep is that he wanted to get Recall Florida. And I said, "That's never going to fly. You're going to put this bill on the floor, and nobody in their right mind that is in office is going to say yes. Yeah. If you are found to have no ethics and you've done all these things wrong, that they can vote you out, that you can actually lose your job over it." And I said, that's going to be a hard bill to pass because a lot of those people are corrupt and would be thrown out on their ass.
From the beginning.
So Recall Florida is a great idea, but nobody in their right mind that's in office is going to sign off on that because they themselves would be targeted.
It's like term limits, like asking Congress to vote against term limits. It's like, why would I vote against me keeping my job? It's never going to happen. It's going to happen another way. But
you ever see that happening? You think that the younger generation?
What's it called? The Conference of the States or Commission of the States, where the state can actually enact an amendment, a constitutional amendment, and so far 22 states, I believe, have already signed off on it. So we've just got a few more to go before it does. But it takes a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of time. So, but eventually it'll happen. And I think that'll solve a lot of our problems. Term limits would solve a lot of our problems. Citizens United, overturning that idiotic ruling by the Supreme Court, that was one of the stupidest rulings I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not even a lawyer or a judge, but I can see right through that. The Citizens United ruling was one of the most detrimental things to American politics and American sovereignty and American freedom that has ever been passed. That was horrible, and that needs to go. To claim that a corporation is a person, I mean, just you get down to the nitty gritty. That's just stupid. It's just a stupid thing to say. It's a stupid thing to believe. And the fact that they can do that now and funnel all these billions and billions and billions of dollars through the system to get somebody elected or get somebody not elected, or it was horrific for the American system, and our freedoms are definitely at risk now, more so than ever before. And we just saw that during COVID. We saw it. Thank God that we don't have. I'm sorry, but thank God we didn't get a Democrat president. Thank God. They were on their way. They had us censored. They had us hogtied. They had us masked. They had us vaccinated. They had everything they wanted, except they didn't have the presidency. Thank God.
Well, speaking of presidents, I'm sorry I'm changing the subject. I just saw something today on my Facebook that kind of pissed me off, David. I don't know if you saw it. I signed a petition about that Donald Trump lifted protection rights for endangered species in the Northwest Florida, like the turtles and stuff, to be able to drill oil. Like, I don't know.
No. It was offshore oil drilling, and the offshore drilling sites are exempt from certain environmental situations.
Yeah, but the BP oil spill devastated this area.
Yeah.
Years ago, before we even moved here, and they were still paying out as of last year. Mm-hmm. Some of the companies and people that were affected. I mean, how do you think that's going to affect, like, if we're offshore drilling near here and something leaks? I mean, the animal, the wildlife, which I'm a big wildlife fan, as you all know. I'm on the board of the Animal Coast Wildlife Refuge, and how that affects. One side, we should be energy dependent, and the U.S. should be on U.S. oil versus having what we're going through now with Iran. And then the other side is, at what cost? because you also want to protect the very species, endangered species and stuff like that that are in our waters. So, what are your thoughts on
Well, I
that?
mean, the good thing is the state of Florida has banned offshore drilling, so we don't have that here like they do in Texas and some of those Louisiana, some of those other states where they have offshore rigs everywhere. Um, I don't know enough about that particular law to comment
Yeah.
much on it, but I do know that he's trying to make it easier for these companies to go out there and drill more oil. And we have plenty of oil, by the way, abundant oil. Oil is not what you remember when we were kids. You saw that commercial, and it was a Exxon Mobil commercial, and it was the Earth, and you started to see like Earth from a one cell organism to a two cell, and all of a sudden it became dinosaurs, and then all of a sudden all the dinosaurs died, and you saw the thing go down into the earth, and it became oil. That's not where oil came from. That was a lie told to us to make us think that oil was very scarce, like it was going to run out. We got to be careful, so they could bump up the prices. That's not where oil came from. And there's plenty of oil. We've got plenty of oil to last us for at least 1,000 years at this rate, if not more. So yeah, so that's not an issue. But Trump is trying to make it easier for them. And just think about, like me and Bart were talking about, the whole 98 could be completely different right now if it wasn't for the salamander. What was it? The snub-nosed salamander or something stupid like that.
The salamander that was protected, and they said they couldn't go.
Protected salamander. So instead of creating a bypass to 98 here in this town, we're stuck with bumper-to-bumper traffic because of some stupid salamander. I was like,
oh yeah, I saw him comment on something. I saw him commenting something on Facebook the other day about it, the stupid salamander, and like every time you're on traffic, you're in the 98 traffic, bumper to bumper, trying to get to work or on base. Think the salamander, because the salamander screwed your driving.
Yeah, I'm all about salamanders. Don't get me wrong. I used to have a pet salamander for a couple of days.
Did you get it from the?
Well, I got it from the creek.
Yeah, the creek where the fresh water. Yeah,
died in the jar in my room where I had it.
You were depressed about that.
I didn't know they needed land to breathe. I thought they lived in the water. I just put them in water.
I used to get like the little caterpillars, watch them turn into butterflies, and then they would just die. I didn't realize,
Oh, you're even more cruel.
Or lightning bugs.
Yeah, the lightning bugs in the jar.
Yeah.
We used to catch one in the jar.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we probably talked everybody's butt off. I just, for 45 minutes, but I just, it's been weighing on me, and we've talked about you running, whether you run or I run or whatever. I mean, we're kind of the same person. I mean, if you ran, I'd be right there beside you. Because I think of us as like one person.
Oh, we are one.
Oh, we are one. Yes. And trying to get your
touching everybody.
Oh, it's so touching. And wanted to make sure, just kind of get it out there, because I don't like to talk politics, because, like I said, damned if you do and damned if you don't. I went to that whole zoning board thing, and I saw how it works. And if you don't agree with what your county commissioner that you're representing, they call you up and say, hey, you thinking about going another year? Hint, hint. I want you to step down. Hint, hint. Because I don't agree with what you're doing, because all this building in this area is absolutely out of control. I just cannot. I cannot believe that new high school down the street from us, the D.R. Horton homes that are going around it, and it's going to be kids just learning to drive, going to the high school, and the traffic on that side. I mean, everybody's bitching about Hurlburt. That side is going to be horrendous. And these kids.
I'm just saying that I was totally against having a high school on 98, and this is the reason, because I think there's going to be some deaths at that intersection with the high school. There's going to be some kid is running late for class or running late for school. He's going to run that stop sign to try to get in there on time, and he's going to get hit, and he's going to die. And the people that designed that high school and that bought that property are going to be held responsible for those deaths, because it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. I mean, I'm not saying that would be you know, if they put a high school, you know, way back off the main road, and if somebody died during a traffic accident, okay, that's, you know, that's a one-offer. But we know that 98 is the most dangerous road in Northwest Florida. It's the absolute most dangerous road. People get killed on 98 in this town almost on a weekly basis.
Oh, all the time. I mean, I just did a Facebook post just the other day about Sunrise in 98, and it's literally like, I mean, an eighth of a mile from us.
Yeah.
And within like 3 weeks, we've had bad accidents with deaths.
2 deaths.
Because the traffic signal is jacked up. It's not turning left. I mean, it's horrendous that we have to sit there and watch all these deaths and backup traffic almost every day. Every time I leave the house now, it seems like there's an accident there on Sunrise or on Coral.
Or Edgewood, which is up the street this way.
I mean, and we're like in the death mecca of 98 and where we live. And now we've got this high school and we've got the D.R. Horton townhomes going next door. Across the street is the homes. Yeah. And there's more apartment buildings because our county commissioner needed to have affordable housing at $300,000 a year. I mean, not $300,000 a year, but $300,000 a home, excuse me.
Which is not that affordable.
That's not that affordable. I mean,
for a lot of folks.
Yeah, but which, you know, sounds like a good reason to put them up there, but and I'm just saying that it's going to be a shit show around that high school, and thank God DJ doesn't go to that high school. He's going to be going to Navarre High next year as a senior, because he's not. They're putting freshmen and sophomores in it next year, and I don't have to see DJ driving right there in the morning. Yeah, you know,
a lot closer, but it's just a bad location. But we digress.
Well, yeah, we're just rambling and talking politics, but this is my one time. I know Tommy Nichols is chomping at the bits to come and talk to you, and
we'll get Tommy on the show soon.
He's doing real good in his recovery, and we're going to have him on here, and I'll let him and you go round and round because he's from the north. We say north, like north in Santa Rosa County. Yeah. In the south, we're in the south of Santa Rosa County.
He's from Chamacqua.
And and they've got, you know, a lot of farmlands out there in the north that are now trying to be redeveloped into subdivisions. Trying to
take all of our agricultural land.
And our commissioner, Rep. Rowell, is saying, no, like, stop. You're not going to come in and take our, you know, rural agricultural land and rezone it. Because we're out here for a reason and save the farms and save the farmers, and they need jobs too. So, so good for you, Rep. Rowell.
Yeah, good for you. And we appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. So that being said.
All right. This is going to be it.
Here's to poor decisions and politics and.
Poor decisions.
And politics.
And politics.
See us next week. Hopefully David will be back in town so we can do this.
I got to scoot away for another few days to take care of my dad.
We appreciate you guys. Like, follow, share. We were up to, we had 50 downloads last week.
Hey. We're getting big time. Joe Rogan, we're coming for your spot, bud.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Poor decisions. Yes, I made another poor decision. I'll make more decisions after one more decision. So poor decisions.